Hi, this is Dave Feldberg with Team Infinite Discs, and I'm here today at the Logan, Utah warehouse, our new warehouse here for Infinite. Look around. It's pretty big. Things are really happening here in the land of Infinite Discs. But what I'm here for today is to talk about my In the Bag 2020 update. So, as you know, being that I play for Team Infinite, I get to throw whatever I want. And my bag is different every time. So, what do you say in the bag? They wanted to do an In the Bag today. I don't know what's in here. I just grab them off the shelf. I go out, I play with them. Certain ones stay, certain ones go. And so let's look at what I have in the bag today. So just out the top, I still have, the ones that I've gone over the past, I'll just kind of mention them. I still have the Discraft Zone. I'm still liking that. It's a good approach disc for wind situations or, over the water, little 200-foot approaches. Still loving that. Another one that I've kept in, though, that I haven't talked about in the last In the Bag was my MVP Mayhem. I find this to be a really good fast driver where I can get some distance. It flips up, but it comes back, and I've been really surprised about it, and it's been playing in my bag so long it's becoming a roller, which I'm kind of excited about because, in theory, MVP's disc should roll farther than anybody else's. In theory, due to the gyroscopic weight on the edge, it should roll longer at about 1 to 6%, and that's according to Thomas Ekstrom, who was making overmolds for Latitude. He did the science on it. It's about 1 to 6% more distance out of the gyroscopic roll of putting the weight on the rim. So we'll see how that works out for me. Another Discraft I have in my bag is a Big Z Thrasher. That's not a very common disc, but I was recommended to it by a couple of the team members. In each company, they have these discs that a lot of the players throw, but not necessarily are the most popular molds. And this is an example of one. This is a really good distance turnover disc that I can count on that'll turn over through the woods or up a hill, but it flies. Like some discs will turn over and then they kind of nose down and it's just when they're coming. This just holds almost like a heat, and it just keeps gliding out. So I thought this was a great disc that they sent me. So thanks to Discraft. As you know, I still have my putter since 1997. Same putter. 1997. That is correct. It is now 23 years old. It had a 5-year break when I played for Latitude, so it's got 18 seasons on it, and it got another W this year. So AVR Putt Approach from 1997. Also in the bag, I put in this year, back to my 10-time rocks. So part of my career, I used 10-time rocks. I was known for 10-time AVRs and 10-time rocks, and I've put them back in my bag because I just can't live without them. They're a really high quality disc. Something about the fly pattern of these is different than the mid-ranges out today. They come up slower, they hold longer, even better than the actual rocks they put out today. So there's something about the old flight patterns that I can't get away from. And I think that's why when you go online, you got to pay $50 for one. Still though, carrying a Westside Bar BT. Look at this thing now. It's a waffle. It's the only thing I don't really care for. I'm not going to lie and say, hey, I love it. I do not like how the Trilogy discs waffle. It's really concerning, and when you're throwing it, it's kind of uncomfortable because you're like, oh, I'm getting ready to throw a hyzer with a waffle, right? So it kind of throws you off a little bit when you're throwing it, but this is probably my go-to mid-range right now. It flies the cleanest, straight turnovers, flexes, flip to flats than anything I got, so maybe the waffle works. Maybe someone at home should do some science on what does a waffle top actually do to the flight. One thing I don't know, so let me know because I'd love to know. Also carrying it, this is what I'm looking for in the world. If you have one, you email me, davefelberg@hotmail.com. That's right, I just gave it to you on the internet because I want this disc. It's a Star Destroyer without Avery, and it's an Eco though, but it doesn't say Eco, which really throws everybody off. But on the back, on the nipple, it says ESDS or E-Star DS. And they have the standard stamps. They're not that well known, but it's the best flying destroyer ever made by far. I'm only throwing 4-something, but I went to a Final 9 in the Southern Nationals last weekend against Ezra Robinson and Isaac Robinson and Matt Orm, who are very big throwers. And 2 of the holes with a regular drive, I outdrove them with them trying to throw far. Literally, I had a 560-foot fairway drive with this disc. I don't throw that far, but if I hit the line, it makes me throw like the kids. So try it. How do you know it's a real one? People always say there's so many of these things. Hold it up to the light, and maybe we'll be able to show you a zoom in. You'll see that there's speckles in this disc where the blend didn't blend up. Why is that? This is really recycled disc. The other eco is bought eco pellets that they wanted to stay eco-friendly and make an eco line. These are the first ones they made out of their actual recycled pellets. All right, Champion Eagle. Still got it in the bag. Won't live without it. There's SEXs, known as the Sex. This is a broken in one. I use it for turnovers, fairway shots. Love it. Always had it in the bag. Had it last time. Still got one mace in the bag. And the reason that is because I like to throw turnovers. And a lot of the turnovers that I play now seem to go over water. So I don't mean to be that way, but I've got a lot of maces. I got a handful of 10-time rocks. So if I walk up to a big water shot, I know it'll fly good. I'm going to use this mace and save my 10-time rock. What else do I got in this top bag here? 11-time rock for turnovers. Like I said, I added my 10, 11-time rocks back. Another one of those Star Destroyers is what we're looking for. See, held up to the light. It's got the speckles. Star T-Bird. I had that in the bag last time. Kept it in there. Backup Bard. Not waffled yet. Kind of strange, right? Just as old. Put it in the bag the same day, but there's no waffle. So we got to get in that waffle technology and figure out what's going on. Now, this is my roller disc. I had it in the bag last time. Star Destroyer was my roller disc for 10 years. It's the first one, Proto Star Stamp. Really cool disc. Still throwing the Cenuses. Love the Cenus. It's the one disc from Latitude 64 that I will not stop throwing probably. Ever. I never, when I first moved to Latitude 64, I said, they have a disc that nobody else has. And that was prior to the Zone, and prior to the X3 AVR, and prior to the Jokery, and all the other discs that are very much in that category, even to the Harp, was the Cenus. And it wasn't popular because it had these thumb tracks on it. But the reality is, it's the best of all of them. It never changes. It counts on it. You can throw it into wind. It learns to flatten up. Even the ones that flatten up will hold in the wind. So an understable Cenus that you know is flattening up, it doesn't flip over into the wind. It just still does its usual thing. And it has a lot to do with the science of the way the air is trapped. All those discs that you're seeing with those Harps and X3s and Zones, they have this flat edge and a flat top. So the disc isn't able to trap air. It rushes over it really fast. There's no give in the dome, so it can't push up, and it just pulls it to the ground. The only difference is that these Cenuses are made out of a plastic that's a little softer. Not rubber, but like old DX Innova, which does give a little push on the plate, which gives me the opportunity to get a little glide before it drops out of the air. Now, what else is left? I do have a striker. I haven't found a fairway driver that's faster than a T-Bird, but slower than a Destroyer that I can throw straight yet. So hence, I am still throwing the striker. There's my 10-time AVR, the one I won the Worlds with. It's still right here. I still use it. The funny thing is about the people like, oh, I need to spend hundreds of dollars on all these putters. I'm still using the same one from 2008. And what is it, 2020 now? So I don't understand people. They last. They're going to crack. It's going to crack. It's going to crack, Dave. It smells like crayons. It's going to crack. Folklore. Don't throw it into a tree. All right. Now, what else is down here? Not too much left. Oh, here we go. Here's my infinite disc, Dave Feldberg Faro. So I lost, unfortunately, I'm very sad about it. I lost my Metal Flake Faro that I used for the last 3 seasons. It was a Lucky 8 on the back, pink. I'm sure you guys have seen them. They were one of the popular runs we ever had. Kind of sad, don't have it anymore. So they did make me the run this year. As many of you know, I was the Emperor, and Garrett Gerthy was the Faro. Well, I thought about it. Why would a 40-some-year-old man be throwing the most stable distance driver we have, and our 25-year-old super stud who throws 750 feet throwing our straightest distance driver? So me and Alan got together and we talked about it. We said, how about put me on the Faro because it makes more sense and give Garrett the Emperor? Well, it's worked out right away. Garrett got an ace on a par 4. He seems to love it. He can hold with it. And the Faro's always been good to me. So get out and try. This is the Metal Flake Glow. They come in pink, blue, white, and gray, I think, for color glow. And I'm not sure if we have any left, but check the website. Now, in the bag rating, like I said, it's different. I played the Southern Nationals, and it was a water course. Kevin McCoy put up 10 holes on the water. So I reach for a lot of discs on water courses that I wouldn't usually reach for. So old Dave Feldberg Gladiator, I know it hyzers. It's not my favorite disc of all time, but guess what? 400-foot shot over the water, good to go. Falls in the water, I got another one home. Not a $100 destroyer. I don't have to go swimming for it. I don't go, oh, could someone get that for me? I just go, leave it. It's like, I call it a seed. That's why you see it. It doesn't even have my name on it. I play without my name on it. You want to give me a stroke, go ahead. But I'm leaving seeds. Because some kid will go swimming in that lake someday, and he'll come up with this, have no name on it, and go, oh, it's mine. What's disc golf? Head to the course. So that's laying seed. Now, I also carry the spike because I haven't had a chance to find I used to throw a Rhino, but my Rhino cracked in half. So that part is true. The old DX, not the old KC, is cracking. So I have a spike still in the bag. I throw it like 1 out of 100 times maybe, but it's good for like a 100-foot turnover or 200-foot turnover that's sideways, that I can't throw a sidearm on. I can like throw it like this, and it looks like I'm throwing a spike hyzer, and it turns and goes backwards. So if you're into that kind of shot, the spike is a good choice from Latitude 64. Here's a backup 10 time that someone sent me in the mail. I was using it as a practice putter. Backup Cetus. My go-to eagle is the Barack Obama. And people always laugh about it, but it's not that I love Barack Obama. It's that it always goes left. Remember, it always goes left. I can turn it to the right, and I'll hang out over there to the right a little bit, but it always finishes left. And that's why it's a Barack Obama eagle. Now, the other thing I got here is the Ricky Wysocki Destroyer. It's the Sandy Knoll edition that was sent to me by the club. They said, hey, Dave, we know you can't find the Ecos that you're looking for, but it looks like one, right? So they sent me 5 of them. Pretty good flight, stable. It's just this stuff that they're making now. You see how there's no dome? There's nowhere to trap any air. So if you're not throwing at Eagle McMahon speed, then it ain't going anywhere. So I can throw this 400-foot hyzer, but I'm not making this flex and do all kinds of pretty stuff. And that's because it doesn't have a dome. But for a hyzer disc, I'll keep it in there and support Ricky. I do have a Prodigy in the bag. That's right, I have a Prodigy. It's still that A2. It's getting kind of beat up. I use this for like little wooded hyzer shots that, again, it's like this opposite of the spike. Sometimes you play a 200-foot wooded hole, and it goes 35 feet left at the end. And how many discs go 200 feet and then 35 feet left at the end? Not too many. But an A2 seems to do that, and so I like that. So thanks to Prodigy. Now, I don't have my Falk in the bag because, like I said, I was playing a hyzer course. So my Falk, gone. Took it out, but I put the stall in, and I can use this over water instead of an Eagle, right? So if I'm playing over a 300-foot shot over water, I'm not going to pull out my really trusty Triple X. You see, I don't even have the Triple X in the bag. My gray Triple X that I've been using for 7-8 years, I took out of the bag. I don't think it's in here. Yeah, I took it out of the bag because I didn't want to lose it. But the stall, really good plastic from Kastaplast, very similar flight. I can throw it. If I lose it, get another one. So again, try this Kastaplast stuff. I will say this as a shout out to Kastaplast. On the NADGT tour, we kind of give players a choice, 13 brands. I won't give you any final numbers, but I will say the company who made the largest jump in our tour out of 5,000 players so far was Kastaplast. They jumped from about 9th out of 13 to 5th. So I can't give you exact numbers because that's not my right to do that for you, but must be something to it if it's jumping that high. Almost tripled their numbers for us this year. So good plastic. I told everybody about it. It's true. Try it. It's a little more expensive, but it's worth it. So here's a new disc that they sent me, and I think it's called a Mayan or an Incan. I didn't care about the name. I think it's a Maya. That's right. I got it right. And they sent it to me. It's like a Fairway driver from Team Infinite. I like when they send me this stuff test run. I was kind of liking it. You know, I was throwing it around. It's kind of like my Sidewinder is the best way to put it. You know, I have a Sidewinder, which I took out of the bag again because I didn't want to lose it, right? I have an old Sidewinder. So I put this in, and I find that it's doing exactly what a Sidewinder did for me, and I like the feel of it. It's a rare mix. You know, like when you feel Innova made discs, this is, you know, Innova makes our discs. They have like either a looser feel or no dome, kind of like this Ricky Wysocki Destroyer I showed you. But this one has dome, but has that tight, extremely tight, thicker feel. So what that means is for a roller, it is going to be more likely to stand up tall and flip over. And so that means I can put cut on it and I know it's going to come up. And to answer you why, I know we're getting a little bit too detailed, but real quick, why is that? It's because the plate's thicker. We were just talking about how the Mayhem might be a great distance roller because the weight's on the rim. Well, they've made this disc where the weight's in the center. Thus, it is going to not go as far as a weighted gyroscopic roller, but the weight itself is going to pull itself over once it stands up and it's going to flip. And I can guarantee on a turn right hole that it's not going to cut out and go to the OB or over in the water. It's going to flip and finish. So great disc from Infinite, and try it out, Maya. Another backup Cenis. I was playing by the water, and so I had to bring a backup Cenis, a pineapple. I only threw it a few times, number 127 out of 150. Still smells like pineapple, but I threw it just to, you can see, actually, I think I threw it in the water. I mean, keep it real with you guys. This isn't some polished thing where they're like, Dave, go into a studio, get your discs in order, and sell something. That's not what my in the bags are about. This is a real snapshot of what's in my bag. So here we go. Excalibur, Kiss My Ace. That's right, Ace. I wasn't cussing. And Stewie's one of my favorites. And, the thing is, I've been carrying this all year. I was using it a lot the year before. Not a lot of shots are falling in this category for me. Maybe it's because my distance is off now. I don't throw as far. But I don't have a lot of shots for this right now. But I'm carrying it because I like it. Guess what this was for? Let's keep it real. This is the striker I was going to throw by the water, so I didn't lose the one that I have. So I threw an extra striker in the bag because, hey, there was a couple water shots Kevin McCoy had where 800-foot tunnels with water on both sides. If you flexed or turned over, you lost your disc. Well, I wasn't going to lose an old striker, so I threw this one in there. And then this is the same thing. This is what actually was replacing the Sidewinder. I'm breaking the Maya in to become the Sidewinder replacement, but I had to have something I could use immediately. So I broke out an old Fury from Live to 64, throw it, it dips, and it rolls. The last disc, though, that I have that I wanted to show you, well, actually, before we get to it, let's see. Destroyer for hyzers. Oh, there's my Triple X. So I hit it in the bottom. I didn't even throw it. It's sitting there. There's my Triple X. The Ballista Pro, again, on water disc. There's another one of my 11-time rocks. This is one of my favorite ones. That's the same as the Mace, but I can't lose it or crack it. A Bard to throw over the water. And another disc to throw over the water. So what you're seeing is that I played a water course. You'll see the video come out, Southern Nationals 2020, me, the Robinsons, and the Orams, and Cam Colglazer. And you'll see that we play water on almost every hole. And I'm not going to lose something, a good Infinite, Emperor, or Pharaoh, or Destroyer, or something that I really like, that I can't replace, that took me 2 years to get in the same position I want it to be in. So I'm, grab something thing. And this was out of the used pile that I had, PJ number 63738. I don't even know who you are, but you lost your disc in my tournament 2 or 3 years ago, and now it's in my bag, so thank you. I call it the Broken Arrow, because it just goes to the thing, but the stamp says Broken Oak. But I refer to it to my friends who are playing like, oh, I'm going to throw my Broken Arrow. And they start laughing, because they know it's going to go to the right. But I believe what kind of disc it is, you're probably wondering. It is a original Ballista. So a gold line Ballista, really got no dome. This thing is going to the right. Is there anything else in here I can dig up for you? Nope. So the last one left is right now my go-to disc. I saved it for last. This is the disc that I'm using, as you can tell by all the dirt and all the landing spots. If you go to the videos, this is what I'm throwing about 80% of the time. If it's between 310 feet and up, and it's not a flex shot, I'm throwing this. And this is my Emperor. Now, I'm not throwing a Feldberg Emperor because they were too new still, and I have them, and they're good for stable, but I have this one that Alan sent me originally before he put my name on it. And it has the X out stamp, which I like it. That's probably one of the most unique X out stamps that I've ever seen. Everybody loves it. And this Splatter Emperor that was my signature disc last year is just golden. I can throw it flip up. I can flex it now. Like so many shots I was throwing, I can just rip it over now. I have trust in it. And it flexes it through a gap. I can throw low hyzers. And you'll see in the next video, the Southern Nationals clip that's coming out, I had a Fairway Eagle last weekend, 400-foot skip deuce on a par 4 with this blind. Down a corridor and up a hill. I just threw it as hard as I could and it hit the ground and jumped. And about 2 seconds later, we heard ching. And the cameraman gave us the thumbs up, and the Emperor was the disc of the day, shot of the tournament, they said. So I absolutely love it. It's funny. Gave it to Garrett. Now I love it, but I still love the Faro also. So there's nothing thing. And I think it is better for Garrett to promote this disc because he has so much power and he can show people what it can really do. So that's the last of my in the bag. What I will say is you could run into me a month from now and I might have half of these in the bag. And I have a half bag of some other stuff, some other brands, Infinite stuff, could be, you know, any brand out there because I'm willing to try it. And that's what I've been doing. I have my steady stables that you see, the Destroyers and the Bards and the Rocks and the Aviars and the Emperor, but everything else I'm willing to mix in and I'm, you know, willing to give it a try. So you will see, this is my in the bag. I am working on some more testing discs. I'm going to start testing a whole bunch of different brands that are off the market. When I say off the market, they don't fall into Joe Disc Golfer. Like, what's a Divergent? What's a Hammer? You know, what are these discs that people don't know and haven't heard of? I'm going to start showing you those, and I'm going to try to play some rounds with them to see how they fly. So this is my 2020 snapshot in the bag. The date is September 17th. So this is what I'm throwing on September 17th. I'm here at the factory. Support Team Infinite, and I'll see you next time in the fairway. This is Dave Feldberg.